Welcome to the exciting and new podcast. I'm Jason.
And I'm Andy.
And I'm Brian.
I always try to change my voice up a little bit. There's one person that's always the same, and that's Brian. He keeps it the same. You change it up a little bit every now and then too, but yeah. No,
I noticed back in the old days when Brian would do those clips, like the little teaser, the 30-second ones, my voice was so loud. I'm Andy. I'm like, well, I'm gonna take it down.
Back when I couldn't hear myself.
I'm gonna take it down every single time.
Brian would be the bass if we were like in a barbershop quartet.
He is the baritone for sure.
Fall into the...
Why don't we do that?
We're going to do a barbershop quartet?
Barbershop triquet. What do you call three people?
Trio?
A trio?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess you would call it.
We could have Connor and he would.
He would. I think we have four basses. Who's the power bottom in that? I know who the power bottom is.
Bunch of Ray Romanos.
Oh, what are we doing here? This can't be the whole point of
today.
this.
We're going over 48 hours. Rated R from December 8th, 1982. Hour 36 minutes. I watched it on Paramount Plus. It's streaming on Paramount Plus. Where'd you watch it?
That's where I watched it.
I also watched it on Paramount Plus.
Nice.
Go Paramount Plus.
We're all Paramount Plus fans. I watched The Love Boat over there on the Paramount Plus. And if you're not watching The Love Boat, I recommend you watch The Love Boat because if you are, hit me up on Twitter. Thank you.
That'll be funny next week when I listen to this. I'm like, what's all the
It's all in there.
Just clapping and talking. Nothing's cut.
Did I mention it was rated R?
You said R. 130
hour 36 minutes, and directed by Walter Hill.
Yes, Walter Hill.
His top four included writing, a lot of writing credits.
Well,
what do you got for directing?
Well, he obviously 48 hours and another 48 hours. He definitely did Brewster's Millions.
Yes. That was the one. That's the one directing credit I grabbed.
But there was
writing.
But he also did Warriors Come Out and Play.
Yes, you're right. Writing credits. He had Aliens, Aliens 3, and Streets of Fire. That was the rest of his
Wow, I did not know that.
So he has. That's pretty good. Nice. Just those movies that he directed. That's a nice little. Career there.
This movie, regardless of anything else, when I found out after the fact that he did Brewster's Millions, I was like, yeah, I see a lot of Brewster's Millions in this movie because that's one of my all-time favorite movies. And
what year is that?
That might have been
6 or 7, maybe like that.
Yeah, I want to say mid somewhere around there.
Obviously later than this, but it felt so much like a Brewster's Millions type of movie, but it also felt very Lethal Weapon. I mean, from the opening saxophone intro, and Lethal Weapon came out after this, so if anybody's stealing from anybody, Lethal Weapon's stealing from this, but
85 Brewster's Millions.
Okay. This felt so Lethal Weapon-y, not just a black guy, white guy, and the saxophone.
You've never seen it?
I've seen Lethal Weapon.
No, Brewster's Millions.
Oh no, yeah, I love Brewster's Millions.
Okay,
that was one of those HBO shows.
I thought you were saying you didn't see it. Yeah.
No, I was just trying to remember when it was.
But this felt
one of our fans is always talking about how he can't believe the things that you've never seen.
We get reviews on our podcast from a certain person. He's always talking about this guy Alpin. He knows nothing. I was like, no, he doesn't. Oh, sorry. Cut. This guy Brian knows nothing. They
can't believe that you've never watched Creep Show or you hadn't seen.
Yeah, I wasn't. I'm not a big horror or war movies or
war movies. That was the other ones were war movies that you hadn't seen. War movies. They couldn't believe that. Yeah.
Anyway, this felt so much like a Brewster's Millions or Lethal Weapon movie. Oh my god! Like as soon as the saxophone said the. I'm like, oh,
that's that 80s.
I'm like, this has to be
Night Shift.
Yeah, Night Shift. I was like, this has to be the same guy that did the music for Lethal Weapon.
Did you look it up?
It was not, but it felt like it was.
But you did look it up. Huh?
Yeah, I looked it up because I was like, obviously, this is the same guy. It's
that would have been a nice pull if you had that. I was like, damn. All right, you ready for IMDb? I got the 2 descriptions again. Our first description: a hard-nosed cop reluctantly teams up with a wisecracking criminal temporarily paroled to him in order to track down a killer.
Ooh.
That's IMDb. And then a little further down for the synopsis. Oddball cop and tough guy Jack Cates is the only survivor of a cop shooting, and in hunting down the murderer collects Reggie Hammond from jail for 48 hours. Hammond is oddly motivated to help. The killer is searching for his stash of cash. Cates and Hammond, who have the black-white cop-crook thing to work out, make surprisingly good partners as they navigate through the city looking for their suspect. And that city is...
San Francisco.
Beautiful San Francisco.
It didn't look so beautiful.
But it was part of the movie for sure. Like there were times where they were driving over those hills where the cars were scraping his.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Some of those hills. I've been to San Francisco once, and I rode down that really
Lombard Street,
and
turning.
Some of those streets are so fun, man.
I like that you brought up in that description there the black-white cop convict.
Did you think I was going to say cookie?
No, but
cookie?
just the black-white thing. The racism in this, like there was a lot
of racism.
There were some words thrown. I was like, oh,
yes,
okay. I guess in 1982 that probably wasn't even that shocking. But
to not only use racial slur, but then in the apology to use the racial slur once again.
Sorry, I called you blank. I'm like, wow, man.
Like, I mean, it's almost like that. Like, kind of erases the apology a little bit. I thought, but that was just my opinion.
When they first got out of jail, or when they first escaped, when they first came off, the main bad guy, Graff or whatever his name was, when he calls
Gans.
about the because he's got You're probably gonna do. You know what? I don't want to get ahead. You're gonna do characters. When Big Bear or whatever his name is, Billy Bear.
Billy Bear.
When he's like, he wants an Indian. No, not turban. The squaw.
Yes, yeah.
I don't think in 1982 we cared about the turban at all. Like that was not a thing in 1982.
No,
was it? Like Indian people, like. If you said an Indian in 1982,
I would think a
Native American, right? Yeah.
I would have thought that as well. Yeah.
It was just so funny when he said that. No, not a turban, the squaw. I was like, what the fuck did he just say?
We'll get into the cast real quick here. Nick Nolte played Jack Cates. I'll let you take a stab at his top four.
Of 48 hours.
Is not in his top four.
Whoa.
Wait, you said 48 hours?
Uh-huh.
Is another 48?
No, that is
it's not the one. All right, I do have, let's see, is Down and Out in Beverly Hills?
No, I thought that would have been in there. I really thought that would have been in there.
Oh, let's see.
I can't think of any other movies.
Well, he was definitely in The Hulk, the Eric Bana The Hulk.
It's not his top.
Not in his top four.
No.
You know what? He was in a Barbra Streisand movie.
Yep. And then he's got it if he can get the title.
Prince of Eastwick, Prince of Tides.
There you go. That is correct. That is in this top.
That is the one movie that we got in this top.
I didn't even know he was in that.
Yeah, I remember because he was like.
I don't think you get the others.
Sexiest man alive at that time.
I don't think you get the others.
This guy. They just nominated Chris Evans. Wait, Nick Nolte's in Warrior?
Yeah, not Warriors.
Warrior.
Affliction and The Thin Red Line. There is
Thin Red Line. Yes. But Nick Nolte was sexiest man alive at one point.
And then
they just nominated Chris Evans, who is, let me tell you, the sexiest man alive. But Michelle even said, like, while we were watching this last night, she's like, this guy was sexiest man alive. And this was like 10 years before they even gave it to him. I don't know. Nick Nolte is like, he's fine, whatever.
But then Nick Nolte has that one. He has that the DUI mugshot.
Yeah. And that was really unfair to him. I mean, DWI mugshot. Yeah. But that was when he was filming the Hulk, and he was already like that ratty looking guy. Michelle kept talking during
he plays a dirty, raggy guy perfectly, though.
And this is, I don't know how old he is in 1982, but like maybe 35, not quite 40. But he already had the voice down. He was talking like Elaine Bettis' father. Like what is he? Is he chewing?
Master of the house.
Exactly. Is he chewing gravel? Like his voice is already just fried. My God. It sounded like he hurt when he talked sometimes.
It did, yeah.
Oh.
There's not his
That is his mugshot there, yeah. That is pre or post getting out of prison with his DWI right there.
I think I'm going to use this one for the 48 hours thing.
I like that. That's good.
But he really aged gracelessly. Like there are guys that in 1982, by 1992, you're still like, all right, they're holding up 2002, they're looking good. He by 1992, he's already he's falling apart.
Playing Reggie Hammond was Ed Murphy. Ed Murphy
in his movie debut, right?
This was his debut. 48 Hours is not in his top 4, so go at it.
Oh boy, the Haunted Mansion.
Get the fuck out of here!
Haunted Mansion is not in his top 4.
All right, I'll start easy. Trading Places.
Trading Places is not in his top 4.
The Clumps.
Is not in his top 4.
But the other one, the Nutty Professor, probably
Nutty Professor is
okay
in his top 4.
But fuck that for being in his top 4. But go on.
Saturday Night Live
did not make his top 4.
I'm holding one in my back pocket. I don't want to
throw it out there.
Well, I'm gonna say Coming to America.
Coming to America is in his top 4.
And before we get
you
there,
were holding on to?
Is Coming to America 2 in there too?
No.
Okay, good. Yeah. No, I got one more. I got 2 more. I got 3 more.
He's got 3 more.
Man,
you got 2 more.
I'm having trouble thinking of other ones.
Is Beverly Hills Cop?
No.
1, 2, or 3?
No.
Is Eddie Murphy Raw?
No. None of his specials. None of his specials.
Is Golden Child?
No.
Oh wow. Fuck, man. I guess I overplayed my hand.
You ready?
Is it something stupid? Is it like Pluto Nash or
Dream Girls?
Oh, I think he got nominated for an Oscar for that, actually.
Shrek.
God damn it. Yeah, he is Donkey for sure. Wow. That's probably one of his biggest money makers of all time, Shrek.
Yeah.
Can you tell me who Annette O'Toole was married to in real life?
Oh.
Nick Nolte.
No.
But I know she was
Peter.
Lana Lang in Superman 3, but no, I don't know who she was married to.
She's married to Michael McKean.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they're married.
They're still married to this day.
Yep.
Like, how long are they like?
I want to say for a while they've been
like
married.
long married?
Yeah.
Like, wow. I'm actually excited to
I
hear
like that. That's one of my favorite Hollywood couples.
You know what? I wish I was married to Michael McKean. I like that she is.
Yeah.
Because she's like one of those people that, like, you see her, you're like, okay, yeah.
I like her. You know what I mean?
She's one
nice.
of those girls, like, you're all right, okay, but I couldn't tell you her top 3 or top 4.
She played Elaine in this. Her
I was
top.
gonna say, what movie was she Elaine? Oh,
her top 4 was Superman 3.
Okay, yeah, she was Lana Lang.
A Mighty Wind.
Oh, and I bet that's where she met Michael McKean.
I think so.
Okay.
48 Hours. And
she was in that?
Yep.
Oh wait, we're doing that.
And she was also in Cat People.
Cat People.
The Stephen King movie?
Yep.
That is one of the all-time worst movies I've ever had the unfortunateness to sit through.
Should we put that as one of our
That is a-
1983
Was it
movies?
Natasha Kinski in Cat People?
No, are you talking about Species? Maybe.
No.
Should we
But
do
Cat People is fucking.
Was Cat People the one with
wretched.
no Cat's Eye was the multiple stories?
Oh, that's
right?
a good one with Drew Barrymore and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, that's a good movie.
Should we do
And Strikers in that. Robert Hayes.
Should we do that as one of our 83 movies in the beginning of the month? Beginning months?
We're not doing Cat's Eye, we're not doing.
Cat People was 1982.
Cat People. We skipped over it, right?
Wait, Cat People. Maybe I'm thinking of a different movie.
It was Natasha Kinski.
I think we're thinking of a different movie here.
Cat People in the is that 82?
Cat People was 82. Yeah.
But wait a minute, we're talking about Annette O'Toole.
She's in it.
Wait, then we're talking about a different movie. Then I'm sorry.
She's in Cat People.
Malcolm McDowell's in it. John Hurd.
Oh no, we're talking about a totally different movie. Totally different movie.
Jr.
No, sorry, I am on a different.
We might
movie
have to
for
do
sure.
that.
Natasha Kinski was very sexy in that movie.
She died. Isn't that the one that died in the skiing accident? She was married to.
Nah, that's Vanessa Redgrave, right?
No, she was married to Liam Neeson.
Wasn't that Vanessa Redgrave?
Wasn't it Natasha Kinski?
Oh, she's still alive.
Oh, then I'm thinking of somebody else.
She's not that. She's 9 years older than us.
You know who I'm talking about, though, right? Wasn't Liam Neeson married?
Oh,
to
yes.
that,
Who was he married?
Wasn't that Vanessa Redgrave?
She didn't die in a skiing accident, Vanessa Redgrave. No, it's not her.
I'm looking it up.
This is a fucking shitty podcast right here. We're talking
Well,
about
Fee,
people.
you forgot how quick he is with his phone.
Wait, Cat People, though, is bothering me. What's the movie I'm thinking of? Some Stephen King movie. No.
I'm not looking that up, but I'm going to go into the next one. I mentioned all of hers, right? So, yeah, Frank McRae, he played Hayden. He was the guy that just yelled at...
was he the chief?
He yelled. Yeah, he was the chief.
So he plays that in every movie he's in because he did that in fuck.
You got it, dude. You're right there. Loaded Weapon
Weapon 1, the Emilio Estevez Samuel L. Jackson joint, and fuck the Arnold movie.
Lockup.
No.
Batteries not included.
Last Action Hero. He was the same character, like the loud chief.
He played that kind of guy, like on TV too. He did a lot of TV.
It is insane that there's any police force in America where the chief of police is just screaming at the top of his lungs at every cop in there. Like, how is anything getting done? That's not the way to manage
such
people.
A busy police station.
That is not the way to manage people.
Everything in this movie just moved way too fast.
Yeah, whoa. Well, it took place in 48 hours. It took way too fast.
And it was Natasha Richardson.
That's who his niece's wife was.
Yeah.
Who did I say? Vanessa Redgrave?
You said Vanessa Redgrave.
She's probably been dead for
I had
years.
Natasha. I had Natasha right.
I had a V and a P. Maybe was there a Q involved?
But I mentioned Lockup and Batteries not included. Those are movies in his top 4. And License to Kill, the James Bond movie.
License to Kill. Who are we talking about here?
That was Hayden,
the chief of police.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Up next, playing Gans was James Remar.
He was in a lot of stuff.
Is that the main bad guy?
Yeah.
Oh.
He was in a lot of stuff.
I don't think you're going to get his top 4, so I'm going to throw it out at you. Sex in the City, A Farewell. He was in that. I guess that was that
all
movie
one
or whatever.
thing?
Yeah. Destiny 2, Witch Queen. That's all one thing as well. The Rookie and The Lamb. None of them.
I think The Rookie was that where the kid was the baseball player, but I never saw it, and none of those.
I think
other
it was
things
the dad.
I'm going to just go through some of these names real quick here. David Patrick Kelly played Luther.
Yeah, and of course we all know him as Sully from Commando. Sully, remember I promised I would kill you last.
Top 4 either.
And he dropped him. He's also in Warriors, which
Warriors I know him from.
There's a lot of warrior guys in this movie. A lot of warrior guys.
The Warriors is in.
Oh yeah, the Gans. He was from Warriors.
Lock Up
Yes,
and Predator.
Was Gans in Warriors?
Wait, Locked Up and
I'm sorry. I'm doing Billy Bear. I apologize. We were doing Gans, right? Sex in the City, A Farewell.
No, we got through Gans.
Destiny 2, Witch Queen, The Rookie and the Lamb, and then David Patrick Kelly. We're doing Luther.
Yeah. He's Warriors and
but also
Commando.
Twin Peaks, The Crow, and Flags of Our Fathers.
Flags of Our Fathers, the Clint Eastwood movie.
Yeah.
Oh damn! I need to rewatch that.
Who you mentioned earlier, Billy Bear.
Yeah.
Sonny Landham. He was in Predator.
Yeah, he was the guy that takes the Predator
and also
on
in the Warriors.
He's just on the bridge, and he's in the war. What's his name in Predator? Is it Billy? Arnold screams his name as he's just sitting there. He cuts himself so that the Predator can see his
Kehoe
blood.
is one of those guys we've seen in a movie recently.
Yeah.
In 1982. Kehoe.
Kehoe, the cop.
Brian James. He played in.
Blade
he's
Runner.
Leon from Blade
Runner.
Yeah.
He's also in Fifth Element.
Fifth Element.
Yeah,
he's also in another
great.
48 Hours.
Oh, so he's back for the sequel.
Yeah, which was
I'll be honest with you.
8 years later.
I never saw another 48 Hours.
I never saw it either. Yeah, it was 1990 when that one came out. 8 years later.
Way too late for Nick Nolte, and probably almost like way too late for Eddie Murphy.
I looked at the what it was about, and it said he just gets out of jail. So I guess
he have like 3 months left?
He had 6 months left on his. So 8 years later in movies, but he's just getting out of jail. I don't know.
Are they maybe something else happened? Did he stab
maybe
a man
he was
in
in
prison?
for something else.
He got out, went back in.
Oh, James Remar. He was. Wasn't he Dexter's dad too?
What's Dexter?
I didn't watch Dexter.
The show
serial
Dexter.
killer? Yeah.
I saw the first season, but I couldn't tell you anything about it.
Yeah,
and his father's in that.
As I'm looking,
Did you watch that whole series?
No, Christine did. I was like, she
wasn't John Lithgow his dad?
No, John Lithgow.
I thought John. I'm saying I saw the first season. I thought John Lithgow was his dad.
Yeah,
Is John Lithgow in it?
No, I don't remember John Lithgow from.
Dude, you fucking went back like 6 guys in the cast to pull a guy out of your ass. Get out of my ass.
Carrie Sherman. She played Rosalie.
Which one was she?
She was one of the blondes.
Was she one of the girls in the room with the bat?
She wasn't Denise Crosby.
She wasn't any of the girls from Star Trek Next Generation, because there are 2
Yes.
gigantic Star Trek Next Generation girls in this.
The last person from the cast that I had played Algren, and that was John Banks.
Yeah, as soon as I saw him, I believe I feverishly wrote down Mike in big letters. I was like, nice. I did not know that Jonathan Banks, Mike Ehrmantraut from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, was in 2 Eddie Murphy movies, because he will soon be in Beverly Hills Cop.
He was also in Airplane.
But he was a bad guy in Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah.
I think Eddie Murphy kills him, but in this one,
his top
dead.
4 is Mudbound, Breaking Bad, The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the 8th Dimension, and El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie.
That's horrible. That is part of his El Camino. Listen, as a Breaking Bad fan,
it was.
But that you don't put that in his top 4.
I called Brady in when he came on. And Brady was amazed that he talked just like Mike. And he was just
sounded exactly the same. What are you going to do here, Nick Nolte? You going to kill him, or are you going to
Except he just didn't have as much badassness as he does in...
he was 35 or 40.
That's what I'm saying, but he just gets shot. He gets shot.
And... you don't see him get shot. You see the bullet. You see the guy pull the trigger, and then when Nick Nolte's holes. You see blood on the steps all over the place. I was like, "Is Jonathan Banks going to be in this movie?" Oh no! Jonathan Banks is not going to be in this movie.
And he deserved to get shot, though.
Yeah,
the way he came
both
down
of those cops.
Right?
The other cop that was whoever the cop with his partner, just being a goof the whole time, and then he got immediately wasted. Yeah, but Jonathan Banks comes down already bleeding, I didn't think to reload my gun. Dude.
That was bad.
Terrible.
That was bad.
The police procedures in this movie are the worst I might have ever seen. This guy has already killed cops, and Nick Nolte just fucking bops him in the nose, knocks him down, for him to kill Jonathan Banks and take his gun a minute later. Shoot that guy in the head.
That precinct is just ridiculous. The desks are on top of each other.
There's prostitutes everywhere.
This was a very how every cop show would be portrayed.
You got to put this movie up for best prostitute.
This one has it.
It's got to go for the JAB Awards. Best. It's going to be a nominee. I think it's going to be a nominee.
It has to be a nominee, but
for police violence too.
This was one of those movies that set the template for terrible police environments for the rest of the 80s and stuff like that. Whenever you're why are they all just screaming at each other and on top of each other? And internal affairs is already on top. Nick Nolte got his gun taken by the guy because he was holding the gun, and they're already you're under investigation, and we want you off the case. What choice did this fucking guy have? It was either get killed or give the guy the gun.
Also, though, there's no way anybody's lending you a prisoner for 48 hours. I'm sorry.
I just lost my gun. I need a prisoner.
Yeah,
it's what? The premise.
You know
is
what?
Ridiculous.
Maybe in San Francisco.
The premise is
in 1982.
I went to the Parents Guide, and there was a nice section on profanity. I'm going to read this little paragraph on profanity for you.
There was some profanity, but it wasn't egregious. It wasn't
52 uses of fuck. 2 of them are with mother. 55 uses of shit. In all its forms. 27 uses of ass in all its forms.
That's not profanity. That doesn't even count.
17 uses of hell. 34 uses of damn. 31 of them are paired with God.
God damn.
5 uses of bitch. 4 used with son of a.
It's amazing how most of these aren't even profanities anymore.
3 uses of dick.
I use them at work every day, and no one has a
3 uses of dick. 10 uses of Jesus Christ. Jesus
not a
Christ.
Profanity. When I go to church every week, I say Jesus Christ every time.
1 use of bastard. 4 uses of pussy. 4 uses of trim.
Eddie Murphy did say trim. I got to get some trim.
2 uses of FAGGOT. I don't want to say it. Okay. 1 use of DYKE. I don't want to say that either.
Oh, yeah, he did say that. Yeah.
And then there's 6 uses of the N-word.
He also said...
Nick Nolte used it about 3 of those times.
He said it to him and then apologized by saying, "Sorry, I called
and then
you."
I think the chief
blank. You know,
and then
he's
the,
like,
the chief said it, and he said, "That's right, I said it." Didn't he say?
He was black. He was a black guy
he
too.
said,
He's like, "Yeah, I said that." So, I mean,
no, I said 52 uses of fuck, but somebody had there's 48 times that the word fuck was used in this film.
I saw that where someone said 48 times they said fuck,
So,
but it has nothing to do with the
that's
fact
right.
that it's 48
I would
hours.
go with that story more, that it's 48 uses of the word fuck, and they did that on purpose.
And it's amazing that they have to report on 48 uses of the word fuck when I think Goodfellas had like 700 or something like that. Like,
my
who
favorite
cares about 48 uses? My God,
favorite quote in this was
G-rated.
between Reggie and Jack. Had the best quote in this one. It was Reggie says, "Jack, tell me a story." Jack says, "Fuck you," and Reggie says, "Oh, that's one of my favorites."
I did laugh at
That
that.
was one of my favorite lines.
My favorite scene in this entire movie was obviously with
Why'd your voice go for
Reggie.
scene?
Did I crack? I'm sorry. Reggie going into the hillbilly bar.
Okay.
And laying out some justice in that. That was I haven't seen this movie in a long time. Like it might
I definitely
gotta
didn't
be like
see it
20
until the
years
90s.
at least, maybe 30 years, but
90s
like
when I first saw
I
it.
remembered that scene because as soon as it started happening, I said to Michelle, I'm like, oh, this is the best scene in the movie. And I stand by that now, that this is the best scene in the movie.
I would
where
agree with that.
he goes in there and
This was one of the scenes I skipped over. I forgot about it.
the fucking hillbilly bar
That
you
was on
skipped
purpose?
over.
No, I didn't know I skipped over it, but I had to get through chunks of the movie.
Man, you skipped over a bad part.
I know. I forgot about that part.
I agree. That's
I had an hour to watch an hour and 37
You had a
minute movie.
week and a half to watch an hour and a half movie.
you committed to it. We could have done it a different night.
No, that's all right.
But it's not, obviously. You missed the best part of the movie.
Well, I can go back and watch it. Now,
Yeah,
if I
we'll
that can do-
podcast on that next week.
We're not
Here's
gonna
the
talk
rest
about
of the movie that
ever
Brian
again.
missed.
We will never talk about that again unless it comes up in the Jab Awards.
Now, if I
Best
do,
hookers.
from what I remember, though, it was a hillbilly bar in the heart of San Francisco.
See, now you're thinking of Pee-wee's Big Adventure again.
The guy that was the bartender at the Hillbilly Bar was in Brewster's Millions. He was the TV reporter
Okay.
from Brewster's Millions, also done by Walter Hill. So, like, he used some of the same
So
guys.
some of
But
the same people.
as soon as
yeah.
I saw him, I'm like, I know this guy from something else.
He's got
It
some
was
of his
Brewster's
regulars, his
Millions.
boys,
Yeah.
some of his boys, yeah. And you're not going to watch it.
I can't believe you don't even do the homework.
This
Yeah.
was, I almost considered I was going to be, I told Brady, I was just like, I said, I only have an hour to watch. And I was like, maybe I'll just skip it. And
What were you
tell
doing
them.
last night? Watching
We
the election
voted.
results?
No, we were voting.
All night.
How fucking long? It took me 7 minutes to drive to where I voted to vote and come home.
Well, I took the kids. We did it as a whole big adventure.
That's
we
nice, though.
Took the kids over, and then we got dinner, and then we came back and
Hour and 36 minutes. Movies an
Brady
hour-
was watching.
Movie's an hour and 36 minutes.
So we were watching the league.
Great. I love that show.
Brian has 15 people living in his house. He has one TV. So they have to see who's going to watch what.
We were just all having fun hanging out.
I've met
But there's
all
been
the people
okay.
in your family.
Okay, but there's other nights.
no
too.
one's having fun doing shit with anybody else in your family.
He wasn't watching football Sunday. He wasn't watching football Monday
Oh,
night.
you weren't watching the Phillies for the last 3 fucking weeks like me, man. God damn it, man. You could have watched this so long ago. We missed last week.
I'm allowing this. I want Andy to give you. This is punishment. You deserve this punishment.
I missed a short part of the movie.
You missed the best part of the movie.
And then you're going to come out here and tell us that you're going to watch it and talk about it
Jeez,
again.
yeah.
You're never going to talk about this.
During our They Call Me Bruce
text you
segment,
tomorrow.
he'll be like, hey, remember that part in 48 Hours that you guys loved? Oh, yeah, I love that too.
He's going to text something and you're going to be like, what?
Should we read
Huh?
Brian's
We're
text
not
on
going
the
to
air
know what it
next
means.
week?
We're not going to know what it means. We're going to be like, what does this even mean?
Should we read Brian's text on the air next week? I'll read Brian's text on the air right now. They'll be like, they'll lock him up. This is a serial killer, obviously.
I skipped over the boys are back in town, all that part. So.
Which made no sense. There was a lot of boys are back in town in this, and
Yeah.
the boys weren't back in town.
No.
For the sequel, Boys Are Back in Town. You want to do the Boys
They
Are Back
weren't
in
even
Town,
boys.
but like they weren't boys until the very end of the movie. I didn't get the Boys Are Back in Town. There was a lot of references to that.
I was awkward. Yeah.
They weren't the boys.
What do you guys think of this movie? From what you watched.
Well, I'm still. let me go through some of my notes. Oh, in the police station with all the people, with Brian James and everything that's going on there. Yeah. There's a woman at the very beginning that's talking to Nick Nolte, and I saw her, and I'm like,
you knew her from somewhere.
Oh, as soon as I saw her, I'm like, I know her from something. It can't possibly be the same woman, but it was. I was very excited. It was Mac's mom from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yes,
I was like,
right.
I was like, she's the one living with Charlie's mom. I'm like, sure enough, she was in this movie. I was like very excited that was her. It's just
she looked like she was talking like that,
and she's been talking like that for 50 years now. She was talking like that.
She looked rough in this movie.
I have to go back and look for her. I will go back and look at her.
It's in that first. It's in that.
No, you can't.
It's in that first scene where he comes into when he first comes in, when he's like, I lost my gun. And
that's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
And
nice. Did you notice it too?
I noticed her. I was thinking Roz from Night Court, but then I was like, that's not her. That's not Roz.
You mean Selma. Roz was black. Selma was white.
Oh, Selma. Yes, that's right.
Yeah, Roz was Marsha Warfield.
Yeah. Still alive.
That's right.
So
Marsha,
is Mac's mom.
Marsha, if you want to come on the podcast.
Selma
had the rough
Hayek.
It was definitely not Selma Hayek.
But then I was like, no, that's not her.
So
and when you just said that, that's when I
the girls that
that's nice.
Eddie Murphy gets the bat to the stomach with, and the other one, I forget her name, Rosie, maybe.
Yeah,
anyway,
I think Rosie.
One's Denise Crosby. She is Tasha Yar from Star Trek Next Generation. Right. As soon as I saw her, I'm like, hey, it's Tasha Yar. The other woman, the one that's like Billy Bear's girl, is from the best Star Trek The Next Generation episode ever, The Inner Light. She is Picard's wife in that one.
Really?
Did you ever see The Inner Light?
No.
The Inner Light's the Next Generation episode where he gets like zapped in the first minute of the show, and he lives a whole other life.
Oh, I remember that.
Where he plays the flute and stuff like that, and their planet's going like supernova or something like that. That's his wife. Oh. His wife is the other girl. So there were two prominent Star Trek Next Generation women in this movie.
I got 3 actors here that were who turned down the role of Jack Cates.
Well, I know that this was written with like Clint Eastwood in mind.
That is not one of the 3 that I have here.
Well, it was written with him in mind.
But I mean, that's
I wrote a movie the other day with Harrison Ford in mind. He will not get mentioned when he didn't turn it down. He just never got it.
The 3 that turned it down that I have here are Mickey Rourke, Sylvester Stallone, and Burt Reynolds.
Okay. Mickey Rourke's too young at this point. And
Sly. I don't think Sly works in this role.
I mean, you want
think about Copland.
Well, I was thinking of Cobra, actually. Cobra, Stallone as a cop kind of thing, but
Copland, think of that.
I haven't seen.
And who was the third? Oh, Burt.
Burt.
Burt's too big at this point. 1982.
Yeah, I mean,
and all I can think in my mind is Norm Macdonald doing Burt Reynolds in 49. I was like,
but even
hey, how you doing there, convict?
Even Clint's too big for it at that time, too.
Well,
then,
but
right?
I think they wrote it with him in mind, and he turned it down to do something else, maybe Escape from Alcatraz or something like that. But, yeah, Nick Nolte's fine in this. I mean,
I agree.
He's not too big, not too small. He's just right. Eddie Murphy at this point was too small, but like within a year, he'd be too big for this.
Yeah,
Eddie Murphy would not be doing this a year from now. So this was him kind of like dipping his toe in, because Trading Places and Beverly Hills Cop are like within a year.
Yeah.
So he's done with this. When he goes to the jail to break Eddie Murphy out or get him released or whatever it is, he yells into his Walkman. Like Eddie Murphy, because he's singing Roxanne, and he grabs the Walkman. He's like, he yells into it, and Eddie Murphy jumps out of the chair. I'm like, do Walkman work like that? Can you yell into the Walkman and so it's going to hear the
Definitely
headphones?
it wasn't like a stethoscope.
And was Eddie Murphy sitting in a easy lounge,
it wasn't like
lazy
a
boy
lounge
kind of
almost,
chair,
right? Yeah,
like in his prison cell? I was like, do they give those out to convicts in San Francisco? Maybe now they do, but in 1982 they're not giving them out to
No.
Convicts now.
Another person for Jack Cates that they considered was Chris Christopherson.
Yeah, I have nothing for him. I don't know if I've ever seen him in anything. I know the name. I mean, I know
Star is Born, right?
I don't know if I saw that one. I saw the Lady Gaga one. Was he in that? I know he wasn't in that.
I want to say that the prostitute in the beginning,
the one
blonde,
in the jail.
Yeah, she was like her nude scene was.
Oh, it was nice.
That one.
Yeah.
Oh, the one that like is in the bed with Grant. What's his name?
Gans.
Yeah. She's very naked.
She's very naked, and
yes.
she did not have that 70s 80s nudity.
But if there's guns being flashed around and stuff like that, I gotta think I'm covering myself up almost immediately. I don't want to be shot naked. At least let me cover up. And she was just running around naked. Why?
This is the first of three.
Because she looked good naked.
Oh no,
we cover ourselves up because we don't want to chance a glimpse in the mirror.
This is the first of three collaborations that Nick Nolte and Walter Hill did together. We had 48 Hours in 82.
In another 48 Hours.
Extreme Prejudice in 1987.
I think he was Extreme Prejudice in this movie.
And then another 48 Hours in 1990. And this is for former podcast guest. The weapon carried initially by Jack Cates and then taken by Albert Gans at the hotel shootout was a Smith & Wesson Model 29 44 Magnum with a 4-inch barrel and custom wood grips with finger grooves. That's for you, Mac.
I don't even understand what you just said.
Did that make sense?
Do you mean gun?
The gun.
Yeah,
that was the gun. The weapon.
Oh, yeah, he had a gun. I saw the gun. He had a gun. Yeah.
I just told you what it was. That's the type of gun it is. Yeah.
All those words you just said flew right in and out of my mind. Smith and Steel thing with the bullet. What?
Yep.
I have no
Smith
idea.
and Wesson was in there. Yeah.
Don't you remember the female scientist that walked around the police station was explaining?
Yes.
Here's a little exposition dump. Let me walk around and tell you everything you need to know about this gun.
I know I don't seem out of place.
When Eddie Murphy and Nick Nolte, I was going to say Jack Palance, but I changed it to Nick
Jack
Nolte.
Warden.
When Nick Nolte and Eddie Murphy are fighting at the end, where they're going to fight, when the cops show up and they're like,
Yes.
the guy that's Eddie Murphy's stunt double is so obviously, and when Eddie Murphy and Nick Nolte are walking next to each other, Nick Nolte's 8 inches taller than him. The guy he is fighting he's a foot and a half taller than him. I'm like, they found the guy that is half the size of Eddie Murphy to throw around here, because every time they showed him from behind, I'm like, did they get a dwarf to
Eddie
play
Murphy was
this
a little
role?
guy though too. He's not a big guy too. He's a small
Not Eddie Murphy's
frame,
a small, slender guy, but the guy they got was tinier than that, because it was so obvious every time they showed him from behind. And Nick, I guess his name is Jack. Every time I want to say Jack, I want to say Jack Palance, but every time Nick Nolte grabbed him, I was like, could they not get it? They didn't have another guy around that could be kind of Eddie Murphy's size. Oh my God, it was so silly.
He played Luther in both this and The Warriors. His name was Luther.
Oh.
Didn't you ask that earlier, James Remar's name in
I can't imagine I asked that.
I thought you.
I can't imagine you
David
brought
Patrick
that up
Kelly.
now out of the blue.
I'm sorry, I thought that he mentioned it earlier.
I thought James Remar was Gans.
No, I meant
No, he was Luther. He was the
David
one that
Patrick Kelly.
He was the one that had he was the one that
Patrick Kelly.
they kidnapped his girl. The plot of the movie. If there was going to be a plot of the movie, the plot was that they kidnapped his girl and he had to steal Eddie Murphy's $50,000.
You already did the Star Trek names. You knew their names, right?
Well, Tasha Yar for sure.
Tasha
She
Yar.
surprised me. And the other
Names,
girl
you
was
guessed
in her
it
light.
already,
I don't
yeah.
remember her name, but yeah.
Yeah,
both Star
it
Trek
was,
Next Generation
Crosby
girls.
and Star Trek The Next Generation and Rose.
Rose, okay. I like the fact that you brought up Sully from Commando again. Very late.
What's Commando?
Come on, dude.
Really?
You had mentioned that earlier. I said I didn't see it.
It's fucking Arnold, man. And it's Alyssa Milano's
Yeah.
Alyssa Milano's daughter.
Commando? Really? You never saw that? Dan's going to have something to say about that one.
Is that a war movie too?
We'll get to it. There's a scene when
Watch it.
When they go into
What is that? What year is that? I'm look up the year.
When they go into the bar where Eddie Murphy wants to get his trim when he's hooking up with the girl, and he's like trying to get some trim off this girl, and he tells us that Luther is checked in the next day. He's not going to leave.
Ray Don Chong, dude.
Oh, Ray Don Chong,
1985.
Oh, well, all right. We'll get to that in a couple of years.
You never saw that.
I love Ray Don Chong,
but when Eddie Murphy sees Sully leaving the hotel across the street, I'll wait for you to show each other pictures. When Eddie Murphy sees Sully Luther leaving across the street, because he's going to hook up with the girl. Yeah. He's like, give me some money. I want to go across the street with this girl. And then he sees Sully leaving the hotel with the case in his hand. He's like, oh, shit. And he goes running back into the bar to get Nick Nolte. And he almost immediately gets on a bus and they drive away. How did they know they're on the bus? Yeah. They come up right behind the bus. They start shooting bullets at him. Like, how do they have any idea they're on this bus? That is flagrant.
I had a
police
problem with that too.
Brutality or something, because they're just shooting bullets into a bus. They don't know they're on that bus.
Yeah. Anything like that. I was watching,
but they had no way. I mean,
I was watching an episode of Chips the other day, and like the guys were on bicycles, and they caught up the guys on mopeds. Like, no, they wouldn't, dude. Stop.
Well, the mopeds wouldn't catch up the motorcycles.
They were on bicycles.
Oh, bicycles.
Yeah,
like pump. Like
yeah. And I was like, no. And they followed him, and they were like right on top. Oh, we got him, and then he tackled them. I was like, no, you didn't. But I love Chips. Do you have any mental notes, Brian, or notes that you had written down that you'd want to share from the 36 minutes of the movie that you did watch?
I think we went over them. He saw the hooker and the naked lady and
anything where there's nudity. He stopped. He's watching from Mr. Skin's site.
There were very few Korean girls in this, so he didn't watch a lot of this.
But hey, Annette O'Toole, man, come on.
I've always been a big fan of hers.
I like her too. Let me see if I have anything left here in my notes. While in the bar, the bartender says that Gans' girlfriend lives up the street where Chinatown starts. The movie takes place in San Francisco, while the bar they leave from, called Torchy's, was actually in Los Angeles.
Well, Chinatown starts like right outside of Los Angeles. It goes all the way up the coast. I'm not big. I don't care. That doesn't bother me. I mean, this is a movie. They're probably filming in different locations. And
did you say you have any notes or no?
No, I don't.
He has nothing. He watched half the movie.
I'm looking at this Commando.
Dude, you're watching a movie we're not even talking about? What the fuck is wrong with you, man?
You mentioned that. I'm just...
Yeah, because it's a movie everybody fucking saw, man.
Not everybody.
Almost everybody.
I'm going to ask people.
Ask them now. Right here on the podcast.
Put a fucking Twitter thing out there, a poll. Who's seen Commando? Everybody's seen Commando. Everybody of a certain age. We are of a certain age.
But I've seen a lot of Arnold movies.
Not this one.
You know what? I bet you haven't.
Well, I didn't see this one. I didn't see.
This was not an Arnold movie. Oh, you meant Commando.
Commando.
Because we're talking about 48 Hours, I think. Right?
Yeah. But yeah,
we'll get to this when we do Commando in 2025.
Yep.
In 2025, when we get to Commando, we'll have Brian Mack on for that one because it's got a lot of guns.
Oh, yeah.
Brian Mack loves the guns.
I did see him holding a lot of guns.
Who?
Arnold.
I think I meant Brian.
Well,
you can probably see a lot of pictures.
That works too, yeah.
Follow him on Facebook. You see Mac with a lot of guns.
Do you want to give this one a score then?
I give it a score. I give it right now. I didn't love this movie. I liked it, I guess. I give it a 65. As far as like an Eddie Murphy movie, it's a lower. Eddie Murphy is about to be amazing. Yeah,
he's about to blow up.
I love Trading Places, and I love Beverly Hills Cop, and I really like Coming to America. This is not Eddie Murphy was not funny in this at all. Like they didn't even try to work in like
there was a couple bits where he did the
but
and it was not working. I love that laugh.
You got a guy as funny as Eddie Murphy. You got to make him a funny guy in this. He was not a funny guy in this. He was just like regular convict and just play convict. Why? You got Eddie Murphy. Make him funny. He wasn't funny.
That's the reason you get Eddie Murphy.
I give this
the funny, right?
I give this a 65. I would probably never watch this again. Like, there's much better Eddie Murphy movies than this to watch. And
I'd rather watch The Clumps.
I don't know if there's better Nick Nolte movies to watch than this. Oh, Down and Out Beverly Hills, the better Nick Nolte movie to watch than this. But 65, it's fine. It's not required viewing at all.
That's good for Brian.
It's good for Brian, but for Andy, it's not that good. It's a D plus.
Because I'm going to go on this one, and I'm going to say I'm probably never going to watch this movie again either. It's one of those movies I thought Eddie Murphy was underused in this movie. I give it a 48.
Oh, wow.
48.
I
get it?
I think I
because
can,
it's 48 hours.
now I do. Thank you for explaining it. Now I get it. I like jokes that I get.
But I felt like it's a decent plot, but the idea makes no sense that you would get somebody for 48 hours. But it could have been a much more fun buddy cop movie than it actually is. It's still, they don't really become buddies until it's too late.
So, are they ever really buddies?
Yeah.
This movie's done much better as Lethal Weapon in a couple of years.
Maybe they become more better buddies in another 48 hours, but I've never seen that and I never will.
What year did that come out? 1990?
1990, yeah.
So in 8 years, we'll get to that. Oh,
yeah,
Brian will be so dead by then.
We'll do a Love Boat episode that week.
Brian will be we'll be talking to Brian's jarred head by then. Oh my God!
Wait, we didn't get Brian's score.
The 37 minutes you watched of this, you give it a.
I am. I'm going to give it a 50 because it's like
you watched 50% of it.
I'm going to yes, I watched 50% of it, and I'm going to text you saying, "Oh yeah, that scene was great," but I'm not going to go back and watch it.
It's
we
funny,
know you're not going
the only scene really needed to watch was that one scene. You skipped right over it.
Audience gave this a 69%.
A 69.
And the critics give this a 94%.
Holy cow.
I don't know why.
Fuck. There needs to be some research done on these critics.
They got to be, their heads
Where do they
their
live?
asses.
Where do they live? I need to know what's going on. Are they just like Eddie Murphy? Are these like at the time critics?
Yeah, it's just 1982 critics?
They're saying, oh my God, Eddie Murphy, he's so funny because
I don't know how Rotten
not
Tomatoes
Eddie Murphy
works,
being that
and
funny.
I'm not looking into it.
You're just going to use their grades. I don't know how this works. I'm just saying a number.
I might look into it.
Rotten Tomatoes gave this a million too.
It's on the internet. That's a reputable site.
There you go. The internet is a reputable site.
I don't think Rotten Tomatoes is going to put out there anything that's fake. That's probably but where are they getting those scores from? Like,
I mean,
like
is Gene Siskel rating this? Can we trust a man that's been dead for 40 years?
Yeah, or is it like some kid that's in like
that doesn't even know what a Beverly Hills Cop is? Oh wait, what is this?
San
Francisco cop.
San Francisco cop coming out of an LA bar. Okay,
out of an LA bar.
So that's our scores then. 94, 69, 48, 65, and 50.
Who gave us a 94? What happened?
The audience and Rotten Tomatoes.
I was like, Jesus Christ, who just gave us a 94?
That's Dana.
That is
Dana's not here, so we don't have this.
94 is a terrible score for this movie. This is not a great movie. There are so many other better, if you want to call this a buddy cop movie or just cop movie in general, or
Prince of Tides probably is better to watch than this. I think
the acting was terrible in this.
You know what? You don't watch this for the acting, but still, there's not a lot of good stuff about this. It wasn't funny enough. It wasn't violent enough. There was no plot. It was just like, let's go catch the bad guys. Okay.
Like I said,
how are we getting this guy out of jail? Because he knows the guy.
Like
okay.
I said, he got everybody to do everything too fast.
Yeah.
Too. Like he's like, I can't believe I'm doing this, letting you take this guy.
Well, they only had
prison,
48 hours. Yeah.
Like,
He's like, I can't believe you're just forging this in front of me. Well, guess what? You don't have to fucking allow it, man. Like you just forged his signature in front of me. Just like
you got a great career. You got a great career in forgery ahead of you if you want it. You know, it's like what?
This was, you know what? I was actually kind of
sure 65. I mean,
no, 65.
I'll change it right now.
No, I'm good with 65.
Andy,
no, I'm good. I think in my brain, I thought this was going to be better. I really was like kind of excited to watch this movie, and as it was going along, I was like, oh man, I'm like, this is kind of not good.
I was glad that it was only 96 minutes.
And when you said the sequel was like 2.5 hours, I was like, that'll be a movie I will never watch. Because that's probably also past Eddie Murphy's prime.
Yep. This one's catching him before it. That one's catching him right at the tail end of the hot
You know what?
high.
I'm going on a limb
Until
now.
Shrek.
I'm going on a limb
Yep,
right
until
now.
Shrek.
We're doing Trading Places next year, 1983 Trading Places. I already know I'm giving that movie at least a 90. At least a 90. And based on Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy is fucking hilarious in that movie. And most of the reason I love Eddie Murphy is because of Trading Places. And I can't wait to watch that movie. But this is not a good Eddie Murphy movie. And it's not his fault. I mean, they gave him nothing.
Yeah. He did what he had. I mean, you can't polish a turd. Is that the expression? Is that what it is? Something like that. But next week, what do we got?
Death Wish 2.
Yeah, no Rambo in
that?
that title.
No, I've never seen a Rambo movie.
So
Really?
this would be a
I'm
first
shocked they've never seen a Rambo movie. I bet we could list, by the time Jason finishes his, I'm Jason, follow me at blah, 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 we could figure out all the movies you haven't watched. Like, we could just go down the list of all the movies of the 80s.
But I've watched a ton of movies.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about South Korean soft porn shit. I'm not talking about a bunch of wizards doing jerk off movies. I'm talking about like good movies from the 80s. You haven't watched anything, man. What are you doing here?
I mean, you've never seen Creep Show.
I'm just the producer.
We should have never allowed you on the air.
It's almost turning into us educating Brian on movies.
We
this
should change the
podcast.
name of this
I've
to
watched
exciting
a
and
lot of new movies.
Educating Brian. We'll take the Eating Raoul and just call it Educating Brian. Like, Brian, you're going to watch a new movie this week. It starts with Eddie Murphy.
According
Have
to
you ever heard
Brian's,
of him?
according to Brian's scale, you gave The Thing a 65, right? And you said that's really good for me. So you gave this a 50. This is really good for him. That's still high score.
It's 65 is good for him. 50 is too.
50,
No, I
50's
didn't
good.
hate this movie. It's
Well, you only saw half of it, so.
Yeah,
50's like,
yeah, because he only watched the nudity. That's why he loved it.
Denise Crosby was side boobage when they came back, when everybody died at the end.
yeah.
Yeah, so she was a little naked there. She'll be Tasha Yar in a couple of years.
Yeah.
And then die immediately.
1987,
Spoiler alert, she'll die quickly after that, too.
It's 1987 for her run. Yeah,
And she was in Walking Dead for a season there.
yeah, that's right. But so
Death Wish 2.
for next week, we're going to try and get a guest.
No spoilers.
I don't know who we'll get, but we should have someone on. But we could be found everywhere, starting with Spreaker and Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever those other places, or wherever you get your podcasts, you can get us there. We're there. I can be found at the Jazoo on Instagram and Jazoo74 on Twitter. They call me Jason.
Gonzo1 on Twitter, Gonzo1970 on Instagram. I'm afraid Brian's going to run out of music. I'm Andy.
That was so fast.
And I'm Brian, Papa Bad Kitty.